Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
We can't do, I think I started saying as a 501c3, we can't do what we do when people don't help us to do this. That's why getting a raffle ticket, coming on a cruise, donating, becoming a partner if you're a business is so important to us, because this is what allows us to do the work that we do. And our work is getting more and more important. Yesterday, we were talking about, we had, you guys know Jennifer Barton with Seniors Helping Seniors. She was on the radio with us yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that literally through her efforts, she saved the Senior Santa program. I mean, it literally, the group that had been running it for years, Brevard Triad, they were a nonprofit, but they ended up putting it on the shelf. And she said, Carrie, we've got to do this. And with her effort and the help of all the volunteers, Senior Santa was saved. And this is what Helping Seniors is trying to do, wherever we can make a difference in the community. So one of the most important things we can all for ourselves is learn about our health. I'm so excited. I had the pleasure of meeting Liz Taylor, registered nurse, who is, this is an area that when you're young, you don't get this. As you get older, and I was telling somebody, literally, I was talking to somebody yesterday who was talking about, I need help just to get my shoes on. I mean, there's the issues here. So I'm so excited to introduce Liz Taylor, who is actually named after the movie star. Is that? No, not. Okay. That's what we're saying, and we're sticking to it. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Liz Taylor.
And I would like to go ahead and good afternoon. Good morning, not afternoon. My name is Liz. As Carrie said, I am a registered nurse, and I've been in Brevard County for nearly 20 years, which is hard to believe. I've been a nurse for about that long as well. So I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about foot health and wellness and how important it is and how you can help maintain your foot health. So here's a little bit about me. I'll click all of this. So I've been a nurse, like I said, for almost 20 years. I did work at Health First for 18 years of my career prior to launching my own business last year as Touch of Excellence Senior Foot Care. So I do focus on seniors, but I missed the human touch in my last 5 years of my career. I was working behind a desk, and I missed knowing, did I make a difference in that person's life? Because truly my heart is for helping people feel better, and I missed that side of things. So I researched, and found senior foot care, and routine foot care is something that is lacking in our community, and it's truly needed. So this is my family. They are amazing. My husband first, we'll start there, right? So he's on the far end, and he supports us, he supports me, and works really hard. My son is 14 years old. He likes to play football and lacrosse, and my daughter is 12, and she is an avid volleyball player, and we travel all over the place with that. I do have one more family member. This is Jackson Hercules Taylor. He is an 8-pound toy poodle, and my husband wanted to name him Hercules, and I said, no, he's 8 pounds. So that's it. He's 8 years old and keeps us all going. So things we're going to cover today: the changes that occur within your feet as you age, options that you have for foot care, podiatrists, salons, and foot care nurses, which is an emerging industry, and what a foot care nurse is, what I offer to the community, and also the importance of caring for your feet and foot wellness. So structural changes that happen within your feet. So as you age, as you may be experiencing, your feet tend to change shape. They become longer and wider as they flatten, right? So the arches fall due to tendon and ligament changes, bone and joint changes after years of use. Wearing those high heel shoes when we used to run around town causes problems for the future, right? And increasing in weight as our metabolism slows down causes changes that we'll go into. Unfortunately, we lose fat on the bottom of our feet, and so that causes problems with your feet. Little fun fact at the bottom there is that 80% of men are wearing the wrong size shoe right now. And 32% of women are wearing the wrong size. That is probably because we don't go to the shoe store like we used to. You order your shoes online, or they don't have those Brannick devices that they're called that measure the size. You should probably get your feet sized every year or every 2 years. And yeah, how many of you guys may be still wearing your same shoe size from high school? It's true, right? You come with the size, you're comfortable with it. You don't get your feet sized any ever more, and you just squeeze in the same size that you ever know. It could be causing some problems, right? All right, so common structure changes that we're going to cover today are arthritis, bunions, overlapping toes, and hammer toes. There are many other problems that happen, other structural changes that occur, but these are just the top 4 that we're going to highlight today. So arthritis, many of us will experience this in our life. Osteoarthritis is the most common. So things that you can do to help with your osteoarthritis in your feet, use custom orthotics, which are very, very pricey and rarely covered by insurance unless you have certain foot conditions. So there are other shoe inserts that you can put in your feet that will help eliminate some of the pain from your arthritis. NSAIDs, which is like your Aleve or your ibuprofen. You could have steroid injections from the provider. However, those last only about 3 months, and you can't get those forever. That's not a good way to live. And weight control. Bunions. So bunions are caused by genetics, improper footwear, your heels, arthritis, or overuse. So, if you walk around a lot for your career, if you walked a lot for your career. So you see the sad face, that's the bunion on the first metatarsal head there. You can also have a bunionette or a tailor's bunion, it's called. And that is a bunion that's on the outside, the 5th metatarsal, right outside your pinky toe. And that is called the tailor's bunion because when they would tailor your pants or hem your pant, right? And they would stoop down, that tailors would frequently have a little bunion net on the outside of their foot. I also have a tailor's bunion, though I got it before I was a tailor. That's just from waiting tables my whole life in the wrong shoes. All right, so symptoms of your bunion, right? It's a visible bump, like you can see. Pain, burning, numbness, aching. Sure, you guys have felt that before too if you have bunions, right? So protective pads or cushions in your shoes. I have flyers in the back, not flyers, but like little booklets. I'm going to cover a lot of what I talk about is protective pads and cushions. And that is a place. PettyFix is a small business that can provide you with cushions and things to help with your feet. Big fan of ibuprofen over here. So ibuprofen can help with that, steroid injections, and also wearing the proper footwear with the wider toe box to help alleviate and offload some of that pressure on your foot. Hammer toes frequently occur as you age because your tendons are relaxing. So there's rigid hammer toes that you can have that you can straighten, and rigid is if they stay, right? Rigid stays one place. Flexible can be straightened manually, but it goes back. You need to be careful should you have hammer toes. You have to watch your skin on the underside of it to make sure that's not too much pressure putting down so that you don't have any pressure ulcers or wounds under there. And you also need to make sure it gets cleaned very well and dried because you don't want to have like athlete's foot or a fungal infection from the moisture in between your toes, right? So there are pads that you can put in place, or you can wear toe straightening devices, orthotics, shoes with a higher toe box, because those hammer toes cause your toe to be like that, which could cause a callus or a corn. So corns are on the top of your toes. Same thing as a callus is on the bottom, but same thing, caused by pressure rubbed on your toe. And that could also be very problematic and painful. Feet. And you're walking. Yes. Nail changes occur as you age as well. Maybe experiencing. So your toenails change shape, thickness, color, direction of their growth. I've seen toenails growing sideways, up, some that look like ram's horns. They go all kinds of crazy ways just because. So your toenails thicken due to your body continuing to produce the same amount of keratin as it always has, but your toenails are growing at a shorter rate of speed, and so they get thicker as you age. And also many changes are related to fungus. Although I cannot diagnose if your toes have a fungal infection, we can recommend some treatment for them, right? So there are creams for funguses that you can put on your feet that could be prescribed by your provider. Also the same with oral medications. Not that you don't want to. You need to be cautious if you choose to take oral medications to get rid of toe fungus because it is very, very hard on your liver. You'll have to go to the lab and have blood drawn frequently to monitor your liver function. So sometimes it's not recommended in the elderly population because of that. But you can get some nail polishes over the counter. Also, you can trim and file your toenails. You can file the top of them when they get thicker to help thin that down. You can use brand name Vicks, will help remove nail fungus, but you have to use it every single day. It's the eucalyptus oil that's in the Vicks that will help you. And when you stop using it, the fungus will come back. So I don't know. The fungal toenails is not typically harmful for your feet. It's not harmful to your health. It's just unsightly. But a lot of people have it. So it is what it is. I had somebody tell me a couple weeks ago that they use Listerine in the shower every day, and the Listerine got rid of the fungus and it didn't come back. It's interesting. I don't know what's in the Listerine that causes that, but I don't know. Yeah, something. You wash your mouth, you wash your toes. I don't know. Yeah, something, I guess. Whatever. Yeah. There are skin changes, right? So you become thinner and drier. Like I said earlier, your fat pads thin, you lose fat in your toes, due to the dropping of your transmetatarsal head. So the fat pad here could go down, which would be very, very painful when you're walking, right? So that's like the ball of your foot. So for that, recommend you may need customized orthotics for that because they will cut out that space for you so that when you walk, you don't have that pain. But if you have corns, like I said, on the top of your foot, calluses on the bottom of your foot, there are lotions. Applying lotion every day will help reduce that. Also reduce cracks in your feet. Non-medicated pads, of course. Yes. Don't recommend medicated pads to help get rid of calluses. The acid will eat the skin away around the callus, and that would be another problem, right? That would cause a wound on the bottom of your foot. So medicated pads like you would use for a wart, the acid medicated pads, we don't recommend for callus removal just because you don't want to get that extra, you don't want to hurt the skin around the outside of your callus. So options that you have for foot care. So you can of course take care of your feet yourself. You can trim your own toenails, right? And we'll cover that in just a second. You can go to a podiatrist for routine foot care. If you are diabetic, it is covered by insurance. Otherwise, routine foot care is not typically covered by insurance. Some may cover it, and it's worth looking into because, of course, it's cheaper for you, right? However, many podiatrists are looking to get out of the business of routine foot care because they are there to diagnose and treat medical conditions, and they don't prefer to do routine care. So that's that. Salons, you can go to the spa and have them trim your foot care. However, it's high risk, low cost. So they take no responsibility for if they cut you, if they cause a fungal infection. They don't take any responsibility for any of that. Or there's me. So I am a foot care nurse. I do provide routine foot care, gentle, safe, convenient because I'm mobile. I don't have a brick and mortar facility office. So I come to you or I can go to a senior center, or I can go to an activity center and provide routine foot care, right? The most trusted profession is a nurse. So I've had people say that it's very painful when they go to the podiatrist, or that, and I've had, people that have had multiple strokes that are very, very sensitive on their feet because they haven't been on their feet in a while, say that they didn't even know I was touching their feet. So that's just with my special tools, right? That's how, there I'm going to flip through all that whoa, that fast. There you go. So what I do for you, I could do a total foot assessment and I make recommendations if you need any of the like callus pads or any of those things that we have. I also file your nails. I trim them first, right? And then we can file down any thick nails that you have, any corns, any calluses. I can help with ingrowns as long as they're not infected. I do not do wounds or infections as a nurse. That is out of my scope of practice. So all my services are charted and documented. So I do keep in a brief medical history, nothing exciting. Are you on blood thinners? Are you diabetic? About it. Neuropathy. I like to know about neuropathy too. So do I need to be a little bit more gentle? So I'm same gentle. No, all the time. And I also carry extensive liability insurance because this is my livelihood and it is my license. So that's what I do. All right. Things you can do for yourself. I recommend you inspect your feet regularly, right? You're going to look for any cuts, any cracks, any redness, any new corns or calluses that you're finding. You can use a mirror for that. The Dollar Tree sells $1.25 tree. No, but they sell magnifying glasses that a light. I have one back there, and it has the light on it, so you can push the light, and so that you can see your feet better, or you can have a friend or a family member help you keep an eye on your feet. Apply lotion daily or as often as you can to your feet, right? Do not apply lotion in between your toes because that would increase moisture and could cause a risk for a fungal infection. In fact, I recommend when you get out of the shower to use your hair dryer on your feet, like feet, to dry in between your toes to make sure you are drying your feet. And so you don't have, to prevent any sort of fungal infection in your feet. Trim your toenails straight across. I recommend straight across for you guys that are doing your toenails at home. I have tools that I can curve, but straight across is what's recommended when you're at home. And also wearing proper fitting shoes and socks, moisture wicking socks, cotton. So why is it important? Because changes occur every single year with your feet, right? Foot health, if you know that if your feet are uncomfortable, you're walking gingerly, crooked, because you don't want to, your big toe is hurting. And so if your feet aren't healthy, you have a higher risk of falling, higher risk of tripping over anything, right? So having healthy, happy feet helps you to stay active and independent. That's it for me. Yes, sir. Brand name Vicks. Not in between your toes. No, just on the fungal infection. Just on the toe that has fungus on it. Every night. Every night. Yes, sir. Yes.
Or what?
Are you trying to prevent like overlapping toes?
Yes, or
Yeah.
basically having wider. I
Yeah.
understand you're supposed to have about balance by having your toes spread or something like that.
So if you have overlapping toes, the spacer would help you to have more. I don't know that spreading your toes would have more balance. I would think if you have overlapping toes, it would help it to be more comfortable. Or if you have like corns and like helping to straighten your toes to help prevent any wounds or corns and calluses on the tops of your toes. Mhm. Yes. Oh,
Running with a
come to you.
microphone.
I can come to you.
Thank you, Carrie. So the question is, what is the correlation? Is it high between injury to your feet or non-care, I guess this is a better word, and balance?
A high correlation, I would say, because if you have even toenails that touch the ground while you're walking, right? I mean, it happens. I had a guy that didn't have his toenails cut for 3 years, but he was still walking. And it's amazing. But, of course, afterwards, you're walking more comfortably. I had a woman yesterday stop in her tracks while we were walking out the door, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much better I feel now that you've cared for my feet." And so it's you don't realize you need it until you have it. Like you need it trimmed up and cut. And yeah, I think there's a high correlation. Comfort. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Because if your feet aren't healthy, then that can throw off your balance.
Everything.
Because strategy of your to hold you so
Mhm.
that you don't fall.
Mhm.
So that's why it's very important.
Yes. Oh, well. Yes, sir. I'm ready.
I'm interested because we're old. Does Medicare cover you, or do you take Medicare?
Yeah.
for-
So routine foot care isn't typically covered by Medicare unless you're diabetic. It's covered. And as a registered nurse, I am unable to accept insurance. And so it's private pay. But if you have, so I can come to your house. If I take care of you and your spouse, I give a 10% discount. But it's $110. And I only see my people every 8 to 12 weeks, unless you want to see me monthly, and then I'll smile at you monthly and take care of your feet. But I can also set up a clinic, or if you have a place like in your community where you live, a building where I can set up, it's half the price because I'm not driving all over town.
Like
So it's
here.
like here.
Like here.
Yes. Yes. I could set up here and it would be it's $50 a person if I'm able to stay in one place and have more than 3 people come see me. Yep. Yeah. We can have a toe party.
Not a
Yes,
toga
I
party.
will not partake, but I will trim your feet. No.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
another question.
Yes, sir.
As to trimming your toenails, is there a treatment plan as what cleaning them up, prep and that to basically make it easier, trim? How exactly is the protocol of the
So
procedure?
if you're talking like at home, if you do it by
Yeah, if
yourself
you're
at
doing
home.
yourself,
Yeah.
if you're doing-
So after you get out of the shower, your skin is more thin, and you're at a higher risk of cutting yourself because your skin is more, is it thin? Pliable? Yeah, there you go. So I would recommend, if you're doing it at home, depending on the thickness of your toes, right? So maybe that would be the better time to do it. I don't use water because it increases the risk for infection and it increases the risk for cuts. So I do a dry pedicure. But at home, if that may be easier, I also don't use the same clippers that you guys use. I use nippers, and I nip a little bit at a time. So I think what works best for you, if maybe you try it and see, but be careful of your skin while you're doing it, because if your toenails are long, your cuticles underneath the skin underneath your toe tends to grow out longer with your toe. So you have to be really careful with that.
what I'm asking is,
Yes.
well, like clean them before or cut them and then clean them? What is
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I cut and then clean in my practice. I cut and then I clean afterwards with alcohol. Good question. So if we schedule a clinic here, 45 minutes is what I like to schedule when I'm seeing people first, because while I get your toenails back under control, it takes a little bit of time. But 30 to 45 minutes here. If I come to your home, it's an hour to an hour and a half. Good question. I have to set up and tear down. and I have more time if I'm working with you individual. I don't have, I don't have somebody else waiting for me behind you. Oh, well, it is. Yes. It can, but my practice doesn't change if you have fungus on one or another because it's all exposed all the time anyways.
I just wanted to reiterate for those who are watching this later. So the question was, does it spread from one? Right.
It can.
All right. Any other questions for Liz? We're going to set up, we're going to figure out how we do that. Round of applause for Liz Taylor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.